All right, welcome back. We continue right here on the Bordas and Bordas Hotline. Bob Pompeani and Gene Collier with you on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. So Rocky Bleier had some interesting things to say yesterday. Gene, you know Rocky well. You have worked with him on the play, which was outstanding, and I'm just curious about your thoughts, because anytime a four-time Super Bowl champ speaks out, it makes news headlines, and this one did. Yeah, it is unusual for former Steelers to speak out in this manner. I think when Rocky talks, people listen. He's certainly entitled to do that. I mean, we get opinions on the Steelers from everybody under the sun, including on this show every night of the week, 7 nights a week, I think it is, Bob. So anybody's allowed to have an opinion, and Rocky is exercising his First Amendment rights, and I'm in total agreement with him doing that. I don't know what the big, the reaction to me is more interesting than what he said, although what he said was pretty pointed. Kevin Davis on Twitter says this: first it was the field, then the rats and the soda machines. Now it's the X-ray equipment. Not rats, mice, please. Mice, okay. Bad enough. When is the NFL or the NFLPA going to step in and hold someone accountable? The game in Mexico City was moved. How much worse can things have been in Oakland? Well, that is a dump. I mean, there's no question. So they'll be moving out of there, and we'll see. All right, the other thing we're going to get into, too, real quick, is Mike Tomlin's comments and dissatisfaction with Chris Boswell, who's already this year missed 6 field goals, 5 extra points. That's, I think, the tops in the NFL for a guy who was so good and won so many games. You know, last year, if he had done this, they would have ended up, instead of 13-3, most likely, 8-8? I mean, he affected a lot of games. This year, won them 4 games in right, I think you can argue he lost 2 for them this year, at least put him in a position to lose games they should have won. However, he still, is Chris Boswell, and they don't seem to be inclined to get rid of him. They want him to be part of the solution, but they're also going to look elsewhere. But they didn't bring anyone in today, and typically this is the day they normally do that kind of stuff. So what do you think? Chris Boswell has done enough this year to get him off the roster. That's usually what kickers have to do. They have to, perform like Chris Boswell did this year. The problem is, they've paid him all this money in the hope that he's going to be the kicker that he was last year and when he did win them 4 games. But Bob, this is always, the solution here always is you have to you have to outplay the referees, and you have to outplay your own kicker. If you're going to leave it to the kicker, you're going to be disappointed. And the other thing that I would be cautious if I were the Steelers is when the Steelers get into this position, which they do rarely, they end up signing someone off the street, and that person always works out well for them. They're due to go into a tailspin on this front. I mean, they're overdue to sign another guy who can't kick. And a lot of those guys who are out there right now waiting for a call have failed, and they all fail. They have something. Even a guy like Boswell was waiting. Let's go to Tony in the Hill District. Hey, Tony, how are you doing? Welcome to Sports Call.
Hello, Bob. Hello, Gene. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. Good.
I want to comment, Bob, on something that was said yesterday about Roethlisberger. I totally disagree. I totally agree with you on if Ben Roethlisberger was cleared to play, he should have put him in. Now, I didn't understand why he didn't put him in sooner, because I think they'd have scored a lot more points if they had put him in. Because to me, the team didn't play, the offense didn't play right with Dobbs in. As soon as Roethlisberger stepped in, that's when they when they scored. And they played more better with Roethlisberger than they do with Dobbs.
There's no doubt, but they tried to explain that today, that after the game you couldn't get all this explanation that was necessary, although Mike Tomlin did say he was medically cleared as soon as he returned. That's what led to all the speculation. Today they tried to tell you what was going on there, and they used a template that they used in 2015 or January 2016. Might remember that Bengals game where Roethlisberger got hit, carted off the field. Landry Jones came in. He didn't do much, so Roethlisberger came in after they blew a 15-0 lead, and he won the game on a 4th down conversion to Antonio Brown. So, Gene, they've done that before. I just think it's risky at this point. If they truly don't have the information clear on an X-ray, you do risk putting them in at any point. I know it was an emergency or they had to win the game, tried to. Yeah, well, you risk injury when he's healthy. Right, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, I think it made it more difficult for them. But let's face it, the Steelers were not playing that well with Roethlisberger in there. They were ahead 14-10 at half. They scored a touchdown when he played in the second half. Yeah, that's okay, but that's 21 points. Usually, when the Steelers are playing well, they average close to 30 points. They didn't get anywhere close to that.
I just don't think that was the difference maker in that game. I mean, you know, the Raiders deserved to win that game. They started 10 rookies, if you count the kicker, the punter, and the long snapper. They were pulling people out of the night shift at Home Depot to play along the defensive line in the middle of the week, and they beat the division-leading Steelers. I mean, it's once in a while you can give the other team credit. Yeah,
but you also have to look at that defense giving up touchdown drives in the fourth quarter. This has become a habit for them.
Derek Carr is not, you know, it's not a bad quarterback.
I understand that, but that whole premise there is that this defense in position to give up a field goal and still win the game. Instead, they had to get a touchdown at the end, and they did.
Yeah.
So you can't keep doing that. And if you look at the last 3 games, they've given up fourth quarter drives and long ones for touchdowns. They normally take pride in the fact they can stop you, give you some yardage, but not a touchdown.
Yeah, well, I think we've established the fact that they have not played well.
All right, line 3 we go. Ted in Brentwood. Hey, Ted, what's up?
Hey, hi, Bob. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Hey, 2 questions. Number 1, to get rid of your cold, get a glass of hot tea, put some honey in, and a couple shots of brandy. You'll feel fine.
There you go.
And number 2,
thank you.
Everybody's complaining about Tomlin. What about the coach for Cincinnati Bengals? He hasn't done that for how many years? How come they still have him?
That's
a little what about is it?
What about that? I mean, at this point, you would think this is the end of the road. It has to be. They've fallen behind the Cleveland Browns.
Well, they lost the quarterback, too. I mean, he's survived worse teams than this. But as for Tomlin, you know, Joe Gibbs used to say, when Joe Gibbs was at the top of his game, winning Super Bowls, he always said, you're never more than a 3-game losing streak from being in trouble in this league. And that's where Mike Tomlin is right now. I don't agree with, you know, any sentiment to make a coaching change. But
nor do I, and I said that last night.
Right, but that's where he is right now. He's got to win games.
But I also think if things don't go the way they want and they miss the playoffs, then there will be changes on the coaching roster.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's not uncommon in sports to do that, especially football.
Right.
But then the pressure in the hot seat gets hotter. By the way, the Cleveland Browns, this is what is today? December what?
11th?
11th. They're still not eliminated, and they still could win the division. Do you realize that?
They have 5 wins. The Steelers have 7. There are 3 games left.
And if they win all 3, they'll be 8, 7, and 1.
That's right.
And a lot of other things have got to go their way.
This could be 7, 8, and 1.
It could be. Wouldn't that be bizarre? All right, David, Southside. What's up, David?
Yeah, how you doing today?
Thanks for calling.
I just wanted to make a comment.
Go ahead.
David, I got to drop you. Don't listen to the television, please. It leads to confusion. Dave in Meriden. What's up, Dave? How are you?
Hello, Gene, Bob.
Hey, Dave. Go ahead.
I wanted to congratulate Gene. That was a terrific article in Sunday's Post-Gazette about Nick Lowry. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Always good stuff by Collier, no doubt.
And I wanted to ask you guys, do you think Rocky Bleier went a little bit overboard with his comments? And that's, listen to your comments.
Sure.
I think he just got caught up. Passionate.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, players generally have not done this, but the reason they haven't is, you know, retired players, they just kind of fade into the woodwork unless somebody contacts them and asks them their opinion. You know, there wasn't until recently all of these kind of social media platforms, and Rocky's obviously fluid in all of these things. And, you know, he just took advantage of that and said what he wanted to say. I don't think he said too much. I think he's allowed to say anything he wants. It's a free country. He speaks from a position of authority. I don't understand the reaction to it, frankly.
Well, it's one of those things. He's been doing a commentary on Facebook for a while after most games, and he gives his opinion. And that was his opinion, so...
And
anyway,
he's not allowed to do that?
No, he's allowed to do that.
Okay.
It's the reaction that follows. It gets everyone all fired up. We're going to take a break. Mike, Matt, Lewis, and Fred all coming up next right here on Pittsburgh CW.